What happens if you ignore a bad fuel injector? A bad fuel injector does not always feel serious at the beginning. That is why many drivers ignore it. The car may still start, it may still drive, it may still get you to work, to the store, and back home. So it is easy to think, maybe it is not a big deal. But a bad fuel injector can slowly create problems that spread beyond the injector itself. It can affect the engine, the fuel system, the spark plugs, the catalytic converter, the fuel economy, and eventually the way the whole car drives. The tricky part is this: a bad fuel injector does not always fail all at once. Sometimes it gets clogged, sometimes it leaks, sometimes it sprays too much fuel, sometimes it does not spray enough, and sometimes the spray pattern becomes weak or uneven. That small difference can change how the engine burns fuel, and once the fuel mixture is wrong, the engine can no longer run smoothly. At first, you may only notice small changes. The engine may idle rough. The car may shake a little when you stop at a red light. Acceleration may feel weak. You may press the gas pedal, but the car does not respond as quickly as it used to. Sometimes the engine may hesitate. Sometimes it may feel like the car is struggling under load. And many drivers blame the wrong thing. They think it is bad gas, or old spark plugs, or a dirty air filter, or maybe the car is just getting old. But if one injector is not delivering fuel properly, one cylinder may not be burning correctly. That is where the bigger problem starts. When a cylinder does not get the right amount of fuel, the engine can misfire. A misfire means the air and fuel mixture is not burning properly inside that cylinder. And that misfire does not just feel annoying. It can create real damage if you keep driving. If the injector is clogged, the cylinder may run too lean. That means it is not getting enough fuel. A lean condition can create extra heat. Extra heat can stress engine parts. It can make the engine run rough. It can reduce power. And if the problem continues, it can make the car harder to drive smoothly. But if the injector is leaking or stuck open, the opposite can happen. Too much fuel can enter the cylinder. That extra fuel may not burn completely. It can foul the spark plug. It can wash oil from the cylinder wall. It can create a fuel smell. It can make the exhaust smoke darker. And it can send unburned fuel toward the catalytic converter. That is when the repair can become much more expensive, because the catalytic converter is not designed to handle raw fuel for a long time. If unburned fuel keeps entering the exhaust, the converter can overheat. And once a catalytic converter is damaged, the repair cost can become much higher than replacing or cleaning a fuel injector problem early. This is the part many drivers miss. They think they are saving money by ignoring the rough idle or weak acceleration. But the injector problem may be creating damage somewhere else. The spark plugs may get dirty. The oxygen sensors may get confused. The catalytic converter may overheat. The engine may lose power. And fuel economy may drop. So even before the repair bill comes, the car may already be costing more at the gas pump. A bad fuel injector can also make starting harder. If the injector leaks fuel after the engine is turned off, the engine may get too much fuel when you try to start it again. The car may crank longer than usual. It may start rough, or it may smell like fuel. On the other hand, if the injector is clogged, the engine may not get enough fuel during startup. That can also create hard starting, especially when the problem gets worse. This is why guessing can waste money. A bad fuel injector can feel like many other problems. It can feel like bad spark plugs, a weak fuel pump, a dirty MAF sensor, a vacuum leak, a bad ignition coil, or even a transmission problem when the car jerks during acceleration. So before replacing parts, the smart move is to confirm the cause. Look at the symptoms. Does the car idle rough? Does it shake at stoplights? Does it hesitate when accelerating? Does the check engine light flash? Is fuel economy suddenly worse? Do you smell fuel? Is there a misfire code? These clues matter. A scan tool can help, but a code is still only a clue. If the code says misfire, it does not automatically mean the injector is bad. The problem could be spark, fuel, air, compression, or wiring. That is why proper diagnosis matters. A mechanic may check fuel pressure, injector pulse, spark plug condition, misfire data, fuel trims, and sometimes they may listen to the injector to see if it is clicking properly. The goal is not to replace the most expensive part first. The goal is to find out why the cylinder is not burning correctly. If you ignore the problem long enough, the car can become less reliable. The rough idle may become worse. The hesitation may become dangerous when merging into traffic. The misfire may become stronger. The check engine light may start flashing. Fuel economy may drop even more, and the car may eventually stall or become hard to start. That is why a bad fuel injector should not be ignored. It may not always mean you need to stop driving instantly, but it does mean the engine is not getting fuel correctly. And when the engine is not getting fuel correctly, small symptoms can turn into bigger problems. The best approach is simple. Do not panic, but do not keep guessing. If the car runs rough, hesitates, smells like fuel, uses more gas, or shows a misfire code, get it checked before replacing random parts. Sometimes the injector may only need cleaning. Sometimes there may be a wiring issue. Sometimes the real problem may be spark or air, not the injector. But if the injector really is failing, fixing it early can protect the engine, the spark plugs, the catalytic converter, and your wallet. So if your car has been running rough, losing power, or using more fuel than normal, do not ignore it just because it still drives. That is how small fuel problems turn into expensive repairs. And if you have dealt with a bad fuel injector before, comment what symptom you noticed first. Was it rough idle, poor acceleration, bad gas mileage, fuel smell, or a check engine light? Your experience may help another driver catch the problem earlier.